Under the endless skies of Kafiristan, a boy named Joseph was born into a life of simplicity and struggle. His days were spent beneath the sun-dappled trees, his nights listening to stories of hardship and resilience told by his mother. The village whispered tales of heroes, of those who rose above their circumstances, and Joseph clung to these dreams like a lifeline. In his heart, a fire burned, a longing for something greater, something far beyond the humble horizon of his home. As he grew, so too did his ambition. The chance for higher education in a distant land came like a gift from fate, and Joseph seized it with both hands. He entered a world of gleaming towers and bustling streets, a world where opportunities seemed endless. Immersed in academia, he thrived. He learned to speak with eloquence, to think with precision, and to walk with the confidence of one destined for greatness. Yet, with each passing year, the memories of Kafiristan became shadows in the recesses of his mind. Replaced by visions of grandeur and power. Years later, a transformed Joseph returned to the land of his birth, not as the boy who had left, but as a man with ambitions as vast as the skies he had once admired. The struggles of his homeland no longer felt like his own. They were merely obstacles on his path to power. Armed with resources and foreign support, Joseph launched his first bid for the nation's throne. But this was no ordinary campaign. It was a calculated assault on the existing power structures. With his charisma and newfound influence, Joseph incited unrest, seeking to weaken the government through violence and chaos. Protests turned into riots, and infrastructure was deliberately sabotaged to sow disorder. His rhetoric painted the ruling leaders as corrupt and ineffective, stoking the flames of rebellion. But Joseph underestimated the resilience of Kafiristan's people. They saw through the destruction and recognized the harm it brought to their lives. United by a shared determination to protect their land, they resisted him with unwavering strength. The ruling powers acted swiftly to quell the unrest, exposing Joseph's tactics and their foreign backers. His first attempt at seizing power ended in humiliation. Labeled as a disruptor and traitor by many, Joseph fled to the shadows, his name tarnished and his ambitions seemingly dashed. But defeat did not extinguish his desire for power, it only hardened his resolve. From the shadows, he plotted his return. This time, he traded open aggression for insidious manipulation. He forged alliances with those who thrived in secrecy, weaving a web of deceit and control. Misinformation became his weapon, spreading doubt and division among the people. Protests erupted as the nation's fragile stability crumbled. In the chaos, voices of dissent were silenced, their fates hidden behind veils of secrecy. Fear took root, dividing communities and weakening resistance. Amid the turmoil, Joseph re-emerged, not as a defeated politician, but as a savior. "Only I can bring peace to this nation," he proclaimed, his voice steady and reassuring. Desperation blinded the people to the truth, and they placed their trust in him. With applause and chants of hope echoing through the land, Joseph claimed the throne of Kafiristan. But the promise of peace was an illusion. Once in power, Joseph ruled with an iron grip, dismantling systems of accountability and surrounding himself with loyalists who dared not question him. The nation's wealth was siphoned into grandiose projects that served his ego, while the needs of the people, education, healthcare, infrastructure, were ignored. Propaganda painted a picture of progress, but beneath the surface, the land withered. The vibrant spirit of Kafiristan dimmed under his oppressive rule. Years passed, and cracks began to form in Joseph's empire. The very forces he had manipulated to seize power began to turn against him. The whispers of resistance grew louder, carried by the collective memory of a people who had endured generations of struggle. The spirit of Kafiristan, though battered, refused to be extinguished. As the nation stood at a crossroads, its people rose once more, their voices united in defiance. They had learned a painful truth: no throne built on shadows could stand forever. And so, under the same endless skies that had witnessed Joseph's rise, the winds of change began to blow.